Hello everyone, this is Jim Okrasinski with the Week 7 lecture video. So in this particular video, I'm beginning in the course unit, the Chapter 2 course unit, as we move into the last week of Chapter 2. Next week we begin our Chapter 3 journey, which is all about writing in the middle. So one thing I do want to take you on a tour again, let you know about the EasyBib YouTube video, all the different library videos to access the library site, and once again the instructional video for the annotated bibliography. I believe this is due Sunday the 21st, so you want to make sure that you not only read closely but watch the video, and also the instructional video on what's an annotation, so you have a clear understanding of what type of involvement and engagement we have in the annotated bibliography and the annotations there. So pointing out, once again, probably the annotated bibliography folder is here. I'll be posting up probably over the weekend sometime just to refresh everybody's memory about submission guidelines and how we're going to use Drive for the annotated bibliography assignment. All right. So one thing I do want to jump into, let me see if I can get there. Let's see, chapter 2. Here, everybody's, so far I've been able to look through some of the discussion board posts on what's a good source. So I thought I'd speak to that a little bit, and then we might cover here in this lecture video a little bit about interviewing and surveys. Okay, so once again, this curious researcher slide presentation. I've got some information here. You can refresh your memory and your knowledge on the chapter and some important aspects of the research process that Ballinger talks about in the researcher. But you know, understanding the what is a good source, looking at that inverted pyramid in figure 2.5 in the textbook. It should be around page 48 or 49, in a hierarchy of what is a good source and what isn't. Remember, we're looking for objective sources with currency, stable ones, right? And what's what the databases will do for you. You'll have a stable source. You want to make sure that that source that you're going to base your research project on has been around, or is going to be around for a while, that it's authoritative, right? And also we can only evaluate the authority in context, right? So you have to look at really what that sources will do for you, and look at especially what peer-reviewed means. If you're diving into the scholarlies in the database, you want to make sure that you're selecting something that's been peer-reviewed, adds to the credibility, right, and the reliability of that particular source and what peer review is. The BEAN acronym was an interesting aspect about looking at sources in the textbook. Evaluating online sources, if you take a look at page 52, and especially the chart, let me get to this, on figure 2.6, you want to make sure that you look at the authored and unauthored pathways in that particular chart, because of the idea that oftentimes we get many sources, especially in the category of the internet sources, where these sources that are not, they don't have authors, they may be really undeveloped, not even any click-throughs for sources, for hyperlinks, like a bibliography. So you want to make sure that you really take a good look at the authors on your sources. It's always really, really important to engage with an author when you're writing and using that in text. It's much easier to engage with an author like Smith states or Jones says, as opposed to trying to work with, this article on a website. It's a little bit more of a seamless process when you're weaving sources into your research essay. So take a good look at 2.6. Look at how the differences are between authored and unauthored sources. Really important. Got all the tips here from the textbook that'll help you determine the best pathways to go. I mean, some of the .govs or .orgs might not be authored, but if it's a .gov or a .edu, it might be more reliable than others. So in talking about interviews, if you have somebody in your discourse community, somebody in your topic that you really want to interview, what you can do is set it up in many different ways. Informal interviews with friends or family, if they can contribute something meaningful, is a good tactic. Since we're not doing any field interviews or on campus because of the pandemic, email is a very efficient way to conduct an interview. So you want to be able to make contact, go about building some of the possible people that you want to interview. Contact as many as you can. You'll never know who might respond and who might not. So you want to make sure that you really craft some questions. I suggest limiting this to about 5 questions, maybe 7 tops with an interview, especially if it's in electronic format. So you want to make sure that you build a good set of questions, right? And you want to be doubly sure that you have a way of note taking, either writing some information down. If it's done verbally, you might want to record the particular interview, or really give them a way to elaborate in a way of an email response. All right. So surveys are important if you choose to use them. SurveyMonkey is free. Google Forms is free. Sometimes it's a way to gather information. So you want to define your goals. You want to craft your questions. Avoid the loaded, heavy questions. You want to make sure that you have open-ended questions. Those vague questions, be specific, all right? The drawbacks of open-end questions is the chapter touches on that. So you want to make sure that you can give them the choice of multiple choice questions, or on an internet survey, you might want them to rate something like on a scale of 1 to 5, what do you think about this? Or in those value type questions, right? So if you can and you have some time and you in your particular topic, you should be able to craft a survey and send it out either on social media. It is an efficient way of gauging the public in your particular topic. All right. So just a quick run through of the slide presentation here for chapter 2 as we finish up. So once again, if you're looking also for some feedback on your annotated, drop a draft in there and let me know, and I'll go in and comment on that. So you want to make sure that you do take advantage of the instructional videos. If you have any questions, send me an email. That's about it. Good luck.